That's my enterprise. If I'm on the Starship, dude. Shut up. How you guys doing? You guys hear me? All right. Good.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
All right. We're not going to mess around because I only have a half hour. This is the free version. The free version is a half-hour version. Wait a minute. That's the wrong one. I don't want that one. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Now we're good. Okay. So we're just going to go over a few things for coaching to make sure we're squared away when we start. And if you have any questions, we can clear them out now, and to solicit a little bit of your help when I can for this. All right, so let me share the screen with you because I got something I want you to take a gander at. This will be how the track looks when we get there. It's the same, except there's one slight difference in that you have to exit a different way now. If you notice, if you look at that map has us exiting in that bottom southeast corner. Kind of you come in where number 10 is. You can see the arrow coming in at the bottom of the screen right here. That's where we come in at, because you can see the turf field here and the trainer room here. Then we leave out of there now. So the exit and entrance are separate. Okay. And as the directions said for BG, they're going to have a temperature check there and all that stuff. And then we'll do our normal things. I've set up, we'll have 5 stations like I had before. Those are my 5 cones. This is not to scale. Those cones will not be that big when you get to the track. Okay. So yes, no, they won't be the nipple cones either, Sean. So there'll be a regular little cone, but those will be 5, and I'm going to assign each day a number. So, Brent's group might be number 1, Amy's might be number 2, and so on. And that is where you will be for the duration. Okay. And there will be 3 starts. I want to keep this front straightaway clear for people coming in, for people having to go to the restroom, or just trying to keep that a little less congested. So we'll meet on the center courts with your little groups. There'll be 5. There won't be 5, don't worry. That's the good thing, because we're still going to stick to our normal protocol of 6 and 7. Well, it was 6 and 6:45. We had that 15-minute crossover, but we have to get rid of that. We can't do that this year. That's just too many people. So we are going to pack our hour. We're going to pack our workout into an hour. Okay. And I've designed the workout so they should be right around 55 minutes. I give this a little 5-minute leadway. It's going to be, time to warm up, time cool down, and then we're going to hit it right at it. So I'm not going to spend too much time messing around or anything when we get to the track, because one week 3 groups will be there and they'll go at 6. And then the next week 2 groups will be there and they'll go at 6. But then the other 2 or 3 group will follow them at 7. So it'll be 6 to 7, 7 to 8, with no intermission. I'm going to go right from one to the next. So each group gets their hour. So that's how that will work. So it's similar to last year in that there'll be 2 sessions on Tuesday, 2 sessions on Thursday, but there won't be an overlap. It'll be 1 session 6 to 7, you're kicked out. The next session 7 to 8. That's why I'm going to keep these 5 stations separate the whole time. That way, if groups 1, 2, and 3 are on the track at 6, right at 7, 4 and 5 will be ready at their little group area and can warm up and can get going right away. They don't have to move onto the track or anything. They're already set up there. Kind of like outdoor, just, we'll have to separate the groups because of the space, and we're not outdoors. So we can't put all 5 at once. We didn't before, but there was an overlap. There just won't be an overlap. Okay. And I'll put that whole chart together and get that out. I just want to make sure that what I'm doing is going to work for everybody. I don't want to make sure there aren't even going to be lockers, Renee. They're closing their locker room facility. So I think they're only going to leave their family restroom open is what it's going to be. And I'll include that in all the information in that. There will be a bathroom available, but I don't believe, from what I read, and I'll double, but I'm pretty confident they said no locker rooms, because I remember that in my head that people are going to need to either change in their car or you know, come dressed all ready to go. But I know people come from work, especially, you know, when we start at 6. So you'll have to exit from the side. Yeah, you won't be able to, you're going to have to either throw on a sweatshirt over your sweaty clothes and get to your car, or run to the bathroom or something. Yeah, that's going to be, those are going to be a couple things we'll have to just bite the bullet on, is just the lack of locker room space. Because they're obviously don't want people gathering into a locker room. My son even said they're not allowed to use even the facilities at the stadium like that. And they practice on that indoor turf field in the winter too. And he said they can't access any of that, and they're on the BG team. So I'm assuming everything besides a bathroom, from what I read, is going to be closed. Okay, even the drinking fountains. So, you know, we'll have to remind people to bring their own water, because I'm not going to put out jugs for people either. Just because we can't use the cups, we can use the bottle. I can see if I can get those quick release ones, but I think we might be using those now. We might try to get a hold of another one. But it worked really well with people bringing their own water. It wasn't a problem. So I really don't see that being a problem again. But yeah, the locker facility, that's going to be the kicker. That'll be a little bit of a nuisance for people, because I know a lot of people would come from work and change, or would change out of their sweaty clothes and put something warm and dry on before they ran to their car. So let's suck it up a little bit, but we'll live. Better than being outside the whole time. Let's put it that way. At this point, who knows what BG could do in 2 weeks? So don't worry, I have a whole nother workout slate planned if we have to go outside, of things that are going to keep us moving and not standing around. So if we do have to go outside, it'll be more fartlek oriented, and, you know, just keep moving. We're not going to be stopping and standing around. But anyway, this is how the track will work. So if you got, you know, other ideas, other suggestions, I just want to keep that front area clear for people to, you know, who need to get, maybe go see the trainer or Jeff, you know, or want to, you know, get to the bathroom, so we just don't have camps everywhere. And then that way we spread those out, and we put the start lines on the side and the start line at the top. Every workout I made is an increment of 200 this time around. So you will constantly stop and start there. There will be no stopping, some, like a couple other times we would stop in another place or whatever, but that was rare. This time, no, it's all going to be right there, stopping and starting at those spots. And it's easier on a 200 track, because you got 200, you know, you got less to manipulate. So it's not as hard as the outdoor, trying to figure out 400-meter stop and starts. So that's how it'll be. Those will be the 3 different starts. So even if you're the 2 teams there that day instead of the 3, because there'll be you know, we'll take out the middle one and we'll just start on each end. That way it gives you more space before you catch anyone. But that's how it'll go. We'll try to keep it that way, and see how that works in general, and tweak it as we go. It's just pretty much what we did outdoor, just on a smaller scale, and how we bring in people. The exiting and entering are going to be the big issues, just because it is indoor, and so we are at a place that's going to be monitored. So it's not like I can control the flow and tell people what to do and how that. It's not up to me. It's going to be up to BG. So we'll have to work within their parameters too. But that looks like that's what's going to work best. Okay. Any questions about it, let me know at any time. And I'm going to, this chart's going to be sent out to people. I'm going to type on it too, and tell them what they're going to do. But you guys are a little bit ahead of the curve anyway, so I'm not too worried about you. All right, that's one. That's the big one. I wanted to get that out of the way. Will the numbers be limited? Well, we'll already have limited numbers, because not as many people are signing up with COVID. Last year we were at 480. I think this year we'll probably be at 300. We're at 250 right now. I'm thinking another 3. We were guessing between 300 and 350. I think with these vaccines beginning to go around, people are going to feel a little more comfortable, even though you're really not. But I just know how people think, just talking to people, and I'm sure you do. People are thinking it's over now because the vaccine is here, when it's not as much. So we're still going to be doing our heavy protocols. But as BG gets into this, I'm just assuming our numbers aren't going to rise much. We'll probably be between 300 and 350. So we'll naturally not have as many people. So we'll be okay. If our numbers were, if I had a lot of people, we would probably have to limit it, but I don't think we'll need to. So we'll probably have between 350. So I'm assuming in the spring or the fall, those of you that coach fall, we had just around 200. And that was pretty manageable. That wasn't bad at all. So I wouldn't expect too many more. You know, it'll be more, but not a crazy amount. Won't be running 6 feet apart. We're going to just do our normal, you know, while we're together, not moving, not running. We're going to keep our distance and try to, but while we're moving on the track, you know, we're going to keep reminding them to stay, you know, distant from each other as they, you know, try to keep off of each other. Don't get right up on someone's shoulder. But it's, you know, unavoidable. We're not going to be able to keep 6 feet apart. We weren't able to keep 6 feet apart in a race, in a workout, in a normal run. I mean, so I'm not going to be hard and fast on that. It's going to be the mask wearing before, the mask wearing after, keeping separated as much as possible. That's what we're going to all be trying to do whenever we can. Okay. It worked out well in the fall. We had a couple flare-ups at the end. But that was, I think, just a lot of people, you know, people getting tired of it, you know, just things happen. People are going to get it no matter what. It doesn't, we can't avoid it. We can just minimize it. And I think you guys did really well in the fall. And I think we're going to keep doing that because even if someone does get tested positive, I only then have to shut down that specific group. You know, so if Sarah's group, Sarah Proley's group, someone develops COVID in it, I can just tell their group, okay, guys, I got to put you guys on a 10-day break or a 14-day break, and then we'll bring you back. You know, I'll communicate with you remotely. I'll do whatever I need to do to keep you guys going. But that way you don't have to shut down 300 people. That's the plan, to keeping the groups separated, okay, in the pods we call them, kind of. So we'll keep doing that, and that seemed to work really well. So we'll go forward with that. And then if we need to, yeah, the open pace, we will. I'm going to keep you in a two person. Like there's a 2 and a 3, and I'm going to keep you in the 2 with the smallest group I can find. That way, you guys will be the only other group you'll be with a small group. So that's how we'll do the open pace group. They will be definitely in a 2-person session, 2-group session, and I'll try to find a smaller group to go in there with you to keep it as minimal as possible. Okay. But yeah, we'll probably have 2 starts for your group, Wendy. That's a good point. I should remember that. We're going to need 2 starts probably for our open pace group. So that's one. That's the main one. Saturday runs, I had to cut it to 5 venues. So we're going to put 2 teams, 2 groups in 5 venues. We're going to be using Oak Openings. I have the permit for that. One group will meet over in the shelter we used to meet at, you know, but back in Mallard Lake, in the back area of the parking lot there at Mallard Lake, that little shelter there. One group will meet there. It's not reserved, but most people don't use it anyways. You just go there, and if we can't have it, we can't have it. It's not a big deal. And then the other group will meet the lodge parking lot. And I informed them, I have the permits. I informed them. They say that's no problem. So we can have our 2 groups there. We just have to follow protocols, you know, mask before, mask after, keep yourselves spaced. Just like the parks ask, we're going to follow those rules while we're at the parks. So 2 groups will be at Oak Openings in those areas. 2 groups will be at Wildwood. One will be at the main stable, you know, main entrance, the stables I call them, you know, where the bathrooms and the trailhead is at. And the other will meet at Ward Pavilion. That's the next entrance down by Corey Road. Both have bathrooms, so you'll have access to those. And that way you're already separated pretty well. I don't have to worry about it. And again, especially the stables area, that's a high traveled area. Keep away from people, keep the mask on and off, keep reminding your people, follow protocols, because we'll get stink eyes from people, I'm sure, but we want to follow the protocol there with it. So that's the other venue. That's second venue. Third venue, that's a good question. I'll get to that in a second. Third venue, we're going to do Rocket Hall And then we'll just keep separated in the parking lot. One will meet one area, one will meet another area. I can, I can designate that, or I think you guys are all good about keeping separate. So one coach can keep their group, 100 meters over there, another group can stay 100 meters over there. So you're not even by each other. And then you both can just, one can go down the bike path and then one can go down into Ottawa Hills. And then that way, or one can start before the other. It doesn't matter, just as long as we're not all together when we start and we give ourselves space. So that will be the third venue. The fourth venue is going to be Fallen Timbers. And when I talked to a couple people, I know I talked to Tom and someone else about Keener Park. They weren't too crazy about us taking up all their parking on Saturday mornings. So I just went back to the Prairie, the new Prairie Park that's opened up. I can't remember the road it's on. Is it not Finzel? Is it? It's not on Finzel, is it? I don't know. But it's out by Fallen Timbers. That the new one that has the little lake there, a little water you run around. So, but that has a bathroom. That's why I picked that one. So we're going to go there in Fallen Timbers, and that will be that area. Okay, I think it's called the Prairie, whatever, Cannonball Prairie Trail now. Is that what it is? Yeah, I think so. So that will be in Fallen Timbers. That will be that area, Fallen Timbers and Cannonball Prairie. So that's the fourth venue. And then the last venue will be Centennial Quarry. Their parking lot is open all the time. They have this is the tricky part with Centennial Quarry. Not tricky. It's just I need to find venues. This is why it's hard to find a venue in the winter. But to find a venue in case it snows, you can still run. Okay. Can't go to Wabash, can't go, Side Cut. They don't give permits to anyone. I didn't know this because we always used to meet there in January when we first started at Side Cut. Now I know why we did. Because after January, they don't give a single permit to anybody because of the walleye run. Because it's so crowded and packed, they won't give anyone a permit. So we can't use Side Cut as a meeting place. So I have to find places that hopefully we can run from. That's the number one thing, has trails or access somehow, not busy roads that we can run on. 2, has the parking available. 3, has a bathroom. And those are hard to come by in the winter because most places winterize everything that aren't like serious businesses. They winterize and shut down their bathrooms. Their paths don't get plowed and aren't cleared, and parking's limited sometimes. So Centennial Quarry, that parking lot is constantly open. It's always plowed. I called the park system. They plow when they can, they plow it regularly. They said, now if it snows overnight, you come on Saturday morning, it's probably going to be covered in snow. I said, yeah, so will everything else. Can't do much about that. But he said, we do plow the trail, the bike trail that goes all the way out to Timberstone and all around Sylvania parks. So that will be plowed. And then there's all the neighborhoods in Sylvania, and Sylvania plows pretty well. And so we're going to use that. We meet at Centennial Quarry. I was going to meet at Fossil Park, but Fossil Park doesn't open until 8:30 because that's where the bathroom is. They have a bathroom that they open even in the winter. And if it's not open, there's a porta potty there. So that's only about a 1/4 mile jog from Centennial. So you guys could warm up to that bathroom. People need to make a pit stop, can make a pit stop, whatever. And even better, if you don't care, like literally across the street from the entrance of Centennial Quarry is an In-N-Out Mart, and across the other street from Centennial Quarry is a Rite Aid. Both of their bathroom, they both have that. I think, I'm not sure about Rite Aid. I know Sunoco does. I've used it before. So they do that. They have one there at that In-N-Out Mart. So they could, if they had an emergency, go over there. Okay, because I know people like their Monclova, I think. I know people like to have their bathroom before, so I try to find that. And Centennial seems to be the best place with a lot of options for running. Swan Creek, that's not viable anymore. I won't even do that in the fall again. I just was looking for another park to hit. I'm not a fan of that place either. So we'll stick with those 5 venues, and we'll just put 2 teams out at each one. And I'll have a big spreadsheet for that too. Okay, so those are the 5 venues that we'll use for the winter, and those should be pretty good to go. If we run into problems, I'll let you know. Now for courses, since we are down to 5 places, I can make the courses for you if you want. That's not a problem because most of these places we've run from before, and I have a slew of maps for them. And I can start creating those now and put those together for you. Just won't have signs, okay? I can't put signs out in all these places every night, every week, the night before. I don't have that much time in my day, okay? So I can make the courses for you. That's up to you. I'll probably start populating some, and if you want to use them, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. And I can start populating those and making a little folder of courses for people to use. Okay, and that's up to you guys. Okay, Rite Aid has a bathroom too. Excellent. So, and it's literally just across the street. You can park and walk across the street to go to these bathrooms. They're not like down the road either. Not like Rocket Hall, and you had to go down to Door and Secord. Okay, so don't worry about that. I'm muting Jeff over here. He's over here cleaning his car or something out. So that will be the 5 venues, and that should work out. Hopefully, it'll work out pretty well, I think. Now, a couple other things. My remote training group is going to begin next week. They're just going to get on for 2 weeks and just do their easy runs on there and get to use the system. I am going to take charge of every remote. I am doing the entire thing remote, people, on Training Tilt. So there won't be your guys on Training Tilt. It'll just be anyone who picked remote. There is no hybrid. We're locking that down. It got to people, you know, because we made it cheaper for remote this time around. So there can't be a hybrid. You know, you're paying less because you're not coming to the track. You're not coming and taking up everyone's, you know, you're on your own basically for that. So they have to stay remote. So if anyone asks you, they can come out from remote. I've already told 3 people no. They have to sign up for the regular program and then come when they can, if they want to do that. But remote, I will take care of all of that. And that's another way we'll lose people too, Andy, is I have at least 25 doing remote right now. And so that will be all for me to handle. You guys won't have to deal with that. Now, the plans, look them over. Any problems? John already found something wrong with one of them. The date for the Blizzard Breakfast and one of the events was on the wrong day, wrong week, and I moved it over. But I'll be tweaking it. March Mayhem. We do not know what we're doing officially yet. I'm not going to get into it. Why? And it's those of you that are in the know it's just a big fight with TRC right now. So I'm not even getting into it. We might do March Mayhem. We might go to Black Swamp. We don't know yet. We don't know. I try to stay out of that garbage when I can. But we will do our Blizzard Breakfast and we will do our spring training run. So these will be free if they just want to come and run. Okay, we're making that clear this year. I said there is a bad way. There was poor wording last year on how we approach this. I go, we can't make people pay to come out and run on a Saturday after they've already paid for this program. I said it doesn't. I go, that's just not a good look. I go, we tell them if they want the breakfast after Blizzard Breakfast, it's a $5 thing for Blizzard Breakfast. Okay, then we're okay. You know, in the spring run we do from Rocket Hall, if they want to pay $5, because we'll have a big, like we do that big brunch there for people. You know, we'll bring bagels and all these other things. They want to pay, they can have that. Otherwise, come on out, run with your team, run with your group, and it'll be, you know, you'll get your run into. So I said we have to word it so it makes sense to people, so it doesn't sound like you can't come out here unless you've paid. And so we'll definitely try to do that. Try to make it so it's worded correctly, because last year it just got to be too confusing, and I don't want to do that. Please change the date of March May. I'll do what I can. A lot of that doesn't work with me. A lot of that's not even up to me. But I am in charge of the spring training run because that's our long run, so I get to pick that date. But Blizzard Breakfast right now, I'm in contact with Mark Bader out of Timberstone. I know him from his kids running at Southview. He'd love to have us, but again, he has no idea what we could, if we're going to be allowed in the building. So I will let you know as soon as I know. I'm probably going to reach out to him next week when we get close to break, when he's not having to get ready for break with all of his kids at Timberstone. He's the principal there. So I'll talk to him again and see. But that's the other kind of big thing, are the what was I just talking about? I don't remember anymore. I keep moving from one thing to the next. The remote and the training and that, the plans. So look those over. Any date changes, let me know, or anything doesn't look right to you. I go through them and I still don't catch things. Now, a couple other things. For one thing, I need you guys to help me with these challenges. We want to keep this going. We want to give them challenges. Now I want to keep giving them the same ones that we've been giving in the fall. We're going to keep our popular ones. Scavenger hunt's hugely popular, so we'll keep doing that. The run of art, when they do a little drawing on their run and submit those, that's real popular too. So we'll keep doing those types, the real popular ones, but we want to inject some more. We want to do some like ancillary training type, maybe challenges, you know, like when Mo did the lunges with them in the fall. We want to do things to challenge them, something they can handle, something they can do, and something they can track fairly easily. Now, here's going to be the big thing. We're going to make it probably be, I'm going to let you track it however you want to track it, whatever's the easiest way for you to do it. But we want to do it as fair as possible now because people, it's beginning to get more, hey, why, you know, my person's not showing every week. We got to count these people. I got 3 people who aren't doing a thing. And now when we're on remote, you can see it, literally see people not doing what they're supposed to be doing and not showing up. You don't notice it when we do our normal training because they just don't come around anymore and you forget about them after a week or two. You don't see them on a roster all the time looking at them going, where has this person been? So we want to make sure, what I was thinking is we, at the very beginning, if you want, can pick, the one thing I thought is everyone picks 10 people. 10 random people, 10 people in your group. You know most of your people. You can pick 10 people you know, you can pick 10 people you don't know, but you can't tell them. You can't say these 10 people are the ones that count. For our counting purposes, we can do that. Or if someone has another way we can do this to make it as fair as possible. I mean, I've done it as fair as I know, and that is taking the average of everyone, you know, taking your average of people and doing it that way, you know, and doing the average of what you have compared to what was given. That way we get a per person readout, an average, instead of a, you know, how many miles did your group run? Well, we have 50 people, so we ran 1,000 miles, and this group of 10 people only ran 100 miles. So it's not fair that way. So that's why I was doing the averaging of people. But then again, it wasn't working great for some because some groups have more people missing than others, and I get that, and it's not your job. You know, you can only motivate to a certain degree. I'm well aware of that. Don't worry. I have to deal with people all the time in motivation, but if you want, that is an idea. We can sit there and maybe just find, then every group has 10 people, okay? We obviously don't want to pick the 10 people every week because we're all going to pick the top people, and then it's going to be hard. Everyone's going to be winning every week, or everyone's going to be like tying each other because they'll pick the 10 people who do everything, and then we're going to have problems with that. So it's kind of got to be a mixed bag of people. I don't know if I want to go in there. Yes, we are going to make a list after the time trial. After the time trial, I am going to give people that chart to help them make a better decision about what group they want to be. And the question, then I'm going to send out a question like that night. It'll be a Google form of what pace group they want. It's just going to be, what pace group do you want to be in? It'll be just a quick one hit question, because yeah, we have to have the names of people. People have to stay in their groups. Remember, this is going to be different than last year. If someone can't come Tuesday to the track, they don't get to come Thursday. They have to come Tuesday. They have to come with their group this year. Before, remember, we spaced out the groups, every other group. So if someone missed Tuesday, they could still come Thursday and be either above or below their group and train with that group. This time we can't do that. You have to stay with your group the whole way through. So even the long runs, you can't have people training with, you know, Julio's group on the track and then jumping to Amy's group for the long run. Okay, it's, you stay in your group. You stay in your group. If you want to move, you have to contact me. You have to get it going, set it up. I have to switch you into a new roster. We have to make sure you're all set, and then you have to stay in that group then. So yeah, so we're going to get rosters going again, and you will know your people. Challenges won't start till like week 2 or 3, depending on how quickly we get the ball rolling. But think on that a little bit. Think of challenges and think of the most fair way, I guess, we could do it with the groups and scoring it. Okay. because I want it to be fair, but I want it to be fun. And my thought is it's not, we're not all competing for an Olympic gold medal, so it's not that big of a deal if we don't win. But I do want it to be as fair as we can keep it. Last thing, so think on that. That's not something we have to go through today because I only have about 5 minutes of that. Last thing, packet pickup. We aren't going to have the Big Mommy Dorian Theater. I am trying to set it up for January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They can pick up their gear in the store. I will be there I will be there during these times. And what I was looking for is availability from any of you, not necessarily even to really help me that much, but just to be there kind of so they can see. I'm gonna do it by like groups too. If people already know what kind of group they want to be in, I'm gonna tell them what coaches will be there. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna send out a schedule for anyone who wants to sign up, and then that way I can say these coaches are gonna be here then, these coaches will be here now, and then people can come and meet you if they want to meet you. Okay. And if you can't make it, we usually come all to Maumee Indoor when we can, and that's fine. If you can stop out even for a half hour, I'll put you on the list and say they'll be here. If you can't, you're out of town, you're busy. I get it. Don't worry about it. It's not a make or break situation. I don't expect a huge influx of people where I'm like running around like a crazy person, not being able to do it. We'll get it done. I sent all the numbers in. So if you didn't give me your gear count yet, because there's about 5 or 6 of you out here who didn't give me your sizes, you'll have to wait till round 2 because I just sent it all in this morning. But I got anyone who gave it to me this morning. Okay, I got you under the wire there. Last minute questions before I get cut off. I know it was quick. I don't think I'll need to come back to you again, but I'm going to record this and put it online for anyone anyways. But if you think of anything for me, let me know, okay? But those challenges, I want to get those set up before we start, at least a good portion of them, because I hate thinking the night before what we want to do. And it drives me crazy. And then I'll send out the things I'm talking about, the sign up for the gear pickup and all that stuff. Okay? Any like critical questions before I kick you all out of here? Let you get on with your night? Me too. Okay. All right, guys. I'll send some more information out, but I'll send a recording out too for anyone who couldn't make it. But I appreciate you guys making it. I see you, Kelly Boucher, Kelly Chic now. All right. Take it easy, guys. We'll see
Thank you, Bob.
you guys.
Bye, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye, guys.
Bob.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.